Welcome back to the 1973 podcast. Let's go!
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, get ready because we got a very special, lucky 13th episode of the 1973 podcast. We're joined by the greatest tag team in the podcasting biz, the boy Tom, my boy Ed, and we couldn't get the elusive Phantom, but we did get the right under me, the son of the Phantom. So we're going to get going. We're going to rock and roll. Now, Dylan, you have your own podcast. Let's, if you want to give it a quick plug, tell everybody a little bit about you and where they can see you.
All right, Underdog Sports Podcast is the name of it. We got a Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, where we do a podcast episode every week, and then sometimes we do like quiz videos and stuff like that.
So it's a Underdog Sports Podcast.
Yep.
And you can find that on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, talking all things sports. So we're sharing the love. We're getting people involved, and we're gonna add a fourth one this week. And we're gonna see. We couldn't get, like I said, we couldn't get the Phantom. We had to get the mini Phantom. So here we go. So, son of the Phantom, no mask, unfiltered. We're gonna rock and roll. Ed, we're gonna start with you. We're gonna go with this week's emails. What do you got for us?
All right, I got this one. This is coming from Gary from Troy, New York, up there in the snow belt, man. Thanks for sending us the email. Hey, guys, I like last week's episode with the new guy. I think this was probably an email from about 2 weeks ago then. Anywho, want to get your thoughts on the brand new WWE World title belt. Thomas, I'm going to throw this one to you first, man.
All right. I kind of like it. I mean, besides the look of it, I like them bringing the belt in because they've got so many guys that they're not doing anything with that. I mean, Seth Rollins is probably the best wrestler on the any of their shows, and he's really hasn't had anything to do the last few weeks. So this gives him something to do. AJ Styles, Drew McIntyre, even though he may be leaving, his contract's up. Just gives all these other guys like Lashley, gives them something to do, gives them something else they can build towards. And eventually, if they want to have him go up against Roman Reigns, and I don't know why they would do it, but if they ever wanted to combine the belts, all three of them, I mean, have a battle. I mean, I like it.
It seems to me, my take on it is, I don't know if Dylan will agree with me. It seemed like it was on its way to be unified with the Universal title and the World title. And when McMahon came back in the fold, it kind of maybe the plans got screwed up to do that. And they that's kind of the buzz that I heard about it. And it's kind of like, I don't know, kind of like a wet fart. It didn't really grab the way it wanted to, and it all falls with the Vince McMahon being back in the fold of things. So I don't know if it had anything to do with Cody winning eventually or what, but something. I like the look of it. It's kind of a hybrid of like a WWE look and the WCW Big Gold at the NWA Big Gold that Flair had. I like the look of it. I just don't like the concept of what they're trying to do with it. I think there should only be one world champion. And the cool thing that they could do, and I mention this to the Phantom all the time when we talk wrestling out, is they should have the champion be the only guy that goes between two shows. Like it's almost like a traveling title. You're the only guy that goes through, to both shows. You're like the crown jewel, the marquee of both shows, and you can get challenges from both shows. And if you get beaten, that guy becomes the champion to go between both shows. The only guy that should be on both rosters is whatever that title holder is. Almost like it's a territory almost. But Dylan, thoughts?
I like it. I like the design and everything. I just don't like the way that they made it. Like, all right, they got now 3 world championships, and the third one's like lower than the rest because it's like almost like I don't know if it's like no one can touch Roman, so they're gonna give you a little pity belt, I guess.
Yeah. A consolation gift. 7th place
exactly.
ribbon. Yeah. So we'll gonna move away from the wrestling talk and get right into our usual coverage of the playoffs, and perfect for you to jump in with this, Dylan, because we're gonna, before we get into the games, we're gonna talk NHL draft. lot of controversy around the draft, seeing it might have been rigged. Blackhawks, toe drag release, Connor Bedard. They already had a massive amount of ticket sales getting sold. All the pink hats are coming out of the woodwork. So I'm going to throw it to actual Blackhawks fan. Dylan, want to take this one?
All right. Yeah. Oh, we just got really lucky, I guess. But I don't think it's rigged. If it was rigged, that it would be Arizona's pick, because they can't even sell out like a college arena.
Well,
So
that was one of our talking points a couple episodes ago about the old fix was in with Biz talking about Arizona getting that pick. So it looks like that didn't happen. But Tom, what do you think about the Hawks getting that pick?
I mean, I'm glad. If it couldn't be, I said anyone but Montreal, so I'm happy with it. But it looked a little fishy with how it came off with Weeks on ESPN. But I mean, I have no problem with it.
I don't know if with tape delay or whatever, if a lot of people stream, if that that's kind of like a thing now where there's a lag in some of the feeds. And Ed, what do you think about Chicago getting the first pick overall?
I mean, I'm going to say that I don't think that the Coyotes were ever going to get him. I don't think that that's a stable market for them. So why are they gonna rig something for a franchise that's potentially gonna I'm not gonna break it here, but potentially go to Quebec.
Yeah. Now with that being said, do you think that there's any chance of Patrick Kane re-signing with the Blackhawks, just come back and play with him, or you think that he's done, or is that wishful thinking, Dylan?
I hope he comes back. That'd be great having him like mentor him. But he was saying earlier that he doesn't really want to go back because they're rebuilding. So I can see where he's coming from.
Tom, thoughts?
I don't think I if they're going to spend money on Kane, why don't they just go out and try to get Austin Matthews, who I believe is a free agent? I mean, a lot younger. I mean, don't get me wrong, Kane's awesome, but he's on the back nine in his career. So
now, if you are Austin Matthews, after that, we'll shift right into playoff talk right now. If you're Austin Matthews after that debacle, do you leave? Do you call it quits and go somewhere else and test the market, or what?
I say yes, because I think there's going to be so much pressure. They're like the Red Sox before the Red Sox broke the curse. There's just so much pressure that builds up season to season, and that the longer they go without winning, the more pressure it's going to be on the bigger name players, and it's kind of going to stop the bigger name players from going there unless you throw some ridiculous amount of money at them. So,
Dylan, what do you think? Austin Matthews stays or goes?
I don't know how much money Toronto's going to have left over, because they're paying a lot of guys. Marner, Tavares.
Who didn't score any goals in the playoffs in the second round? Just tossing that one out there.
This is true. These are all
Just
true
toss
stories.
that out there, man. That's a true story.
So what do you think of? Let's talk that series. Florida, are they legit pretenders?
I think so.
They're
Tom?
hot right now.
Yeah,
I think they're legit, but I think Carolina takes them in 6 in this next round.
I like the comment that Paul Maurice made after the series was done. He said that everybody on the Carolina bench, he coached them when they were players. I thought so. He kind of like saying, like, in joking fashion, I know all their tendencies. So it was kind of funny to hear him kind of say that. But so you think they're all done? They've gone as far as they possibly can. You think Carolina's legit?
Ed?
I think Carolina looks really strong, man. They looked unstoppable. They only had that one game where Jersey beat them 8-4. They just looked unstoppable. I think it's a series that's going to go 7, and I think it's going to be like that. That's my take on it.
Dylan,
Both
what do you
good
think?
teams.
Yeah, Panthers play real gritty with Kachuk, so they can make anything a series.
It's amazing what
Pretty much.
one.
They already got rid of Bruins and Maple Leafs, so
Yeah, it's amazing what one move will do for a team as far as like that Kachuk trade. How just turns the whole team around. Like, get them in the playoffs and look what happens. I mean, Bennett, him, Reinhardt, Gudis. I mean, there's some heavies on that team as far as like the way they play. And, Anthony Duclair's got a little bit of talent, and, he's had stints of, really good games. And then what's up with Barkov? Phantom Senior says he's hurt. And I said, I'm just waiting for him to break out. I don't know what's wrong with him, but he's like the most skilled guy on that team, and he hasn't even contributed at all. Just imagine if he was healthy, what he could do. So, thoughts?
Ed?
Well, I mean, I think that as far as like what we were just talking about, I just think that I think Florida just has much more grit, and I think that it's going to be a really gritty series. To take this, what Dylan said, I just think it's going to be a great series. I think it's going 7, and I mean, I just think that they're both just really good teams. I think it's going to be really, really good hockey.
Fun to watch.
Yeah, very much so. It's going to be fast. The bodies will be flying everywhere. I mean, that internal clock in your head. I mean, those guys are not going to have very much time with that puck until somebody's on top of them to go on top of what Dylan was saying about, how they've been playing. They really are a gritty team, and they really are just they finish for their checks. They really are just a good team. So,
like you were saying, Andy, about Barkov, I think he's their most talented guy. I think teams are game planning him, so he hasn't really had. I mean, I think they're just taking him out of the game where other guys have had to step up.
I think a lot of people forget that Reinhardt and Bennett were back to back in the draft, and how they ended up on the same team is kind of miraculous. How shuffle the deck a little bit with trades and look at what you get, and now it's some kind of formula is paying off, and there's a formula to it with when you get into the playoffs, you cannot play that finesse game. You've got to play heavy and hard and throw all those hockey cliches out there. Win every shift. Heavy on the forecheck, pucks deep, bang them, all that stuff. But let's
get pucks on net.
Throw them all out.
I mean, there you go. That would just rounds it out.
Yeah. Let's switch to the West. So, what do you think of the Knights series against Edmonton? Do you think they're going to pull off the miracle and eliminate them, or what? Or do you think Edmonton's got some life? What do you think,
Dylan?
See, I had Edmonton going far in my bracket, but my bracket's a mess now, so it doesn't even matter. Vegas is playing.
Welcome to the club,
really
pal.
Yeah, ruins. But Vegas is
that
playing.
Was the one that ruined it for me.
Ed was out in the first round.
Yep.
Yeah. I had Bruins going first round, Avs going first round.
So
ruined everything.
You were saying about the Vegas series, though. Thoughts on that? Do you think Edmonton's all done? Do you think Vegas has got their number, or what?
Yeah, I think Vegas is a much deeper team than the Oilers.
What do you think, Tom?
Beating it.
Yeah, I picked Vegas to go to the finals against the Bruins, so I'm going to still go with them. And I think for the life of me, I've been saying this for the whole series, but I don't know how you start. Now they throw Aiden Hill in with the injury to Broussard or whatever the hell his name is. But for the life of me, I still don't know why they don't play Jonathan Quick. I
don't know.
And at the same breath, I don't know why Edmonton hasn't switched to Campbell. I mean, Skinner has been, what have they pulled him? 3 out of the last 5 games, I think he's been pulled. It's for the life of me, I don't understand why they just don't throw Campbell in there. He's played pretty well while they've had him in there. I mean, granted, don't get me wrong, I'm a Hockey East guy, so I'm a Campbell fan. But
what do you think, Ed? You think that Edmonton's dead in the water, or you think
no?
Vegas?
I don't think so. I think that they showed a lot of spunk. I really do. I really think that they've been really stepping it up. They've been throwing the body around. They kind of go against what we talked about a few weeks ago about them being kind of soft. I mean, they've been throwing it around. I mean, they are not stepping back at all. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I haven't seen a lot of the Knights very much up until right now play. So my eye test on them, I don't have that much on them. Same thing with Edmonton. I just think I think it's gonna be one of those series that's gonna go 7.
And they're doing it without that.
How dirty that series has been.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was just going to get to that with the the slash. Well, you want to call it a slash? What do you want to call it, Tom? On Draisaitl? Go ahead, take it. It's a job.
It was a slash, but I'm not even talking about that. It's just that slash was ridiculous. And then the thing with Evander Kane kind of jumping on the dude when he was down, throwing punches when the guy was down and pretty much had his back turned to him. And then the cup check that they did on Kulak. I mean, it's just been a very chippy, very dirty series.
I like Evander Kane's quote though. Did you see that?
No.
They interviewed him after the game and he said, well, when you fuck around, you find out. I love it. I love it. He said it right to the media. Yep, I love it. More of that, please. There's a golf clap for you right there. But it's
just nice to see some bodies flying around, and you know, like the thing about it is to go back to the Kane fight. I mean, I did think that was a bit over the top. I mean, is there really a need to throw kidney shots like that? Probably not. You know, I mean, you know, but again, you know, to use what he said, fuck around and find out. You know, and I mean, you know,
we're gonna kick it to Dylan for a guy that's fought a lot and gotten in a lot of scraps. Led the league in penalty minutes for a goalie. Take it, Dylan. What do you think?
I like it. Playoff hockey being the best sport in the world.
So you were saying that this is a really a lot of chance to talk hockey on your podcast. So here you go. You got a forum. So you get it all out, son. You got a whole season to get out.
I know. Playoff hockey is just so much different. I try and tell the other guys in the podcast, you got to put on a game. You'll instantly get sucked into it. It's so good. So many hits. The hit total for the Leafs game was like in the 60s, like high hits for both teams.
Yeah, in the score, the Leaf series, for people that think that the score doesn't reflect the shots on net, that game could have been 6-5 with the amount of shots that they had on net. It was 50 shots at least. So, I mean, give credit what credit's due. All those games were tight. Even, you know, if you want to kick the Leafs, it could have went the other way a little bit too. So I just think that out of the teams that deserve to move on, I think Florida they put the better effort in game to game for what they got for a result. And there's one more series we haven't talked about. It's the Seattle Kraken series in Dallas. Thoughts on that series, Dylan, before we go to the other stuff?
Yeah, it's a really weird series. Going into it, I'm like stars all the way pretty much, but the Kraken just stay with them. It's really pretty much random who's gonna show up for that series each game.
Tom?
So I know it's like blowout and back again, one goal.
I think it looks like it's going 7 because last I saw tonight, Seattle was up 3-1. So
they're now up 4-2 with 16 minutes left in the third. Shots on goal right now are 26-18.
Seattle surprised the hell out of me all playoffs. So I mean, I'm an Ottinger fan, and to me, I thought he was the best goalie remaining in the playoffs. But you're only as good as the team around you. So I mean, I'm kind of rooting for Seattle now.
Go ahead, Dylan.
They pulled Ottinger this game.
Yes.
So Ed, you're watching the game as we speak?
Yeah, I'm watching the game. I mean, it just looked like I popped it on, you know, since I had to go out and be an adult, you know, like get like groceries and stuff. You know, I didn't get to watch it from the beginning. But it just looked like Seattle just is really they were 1 or 2 steps ahead of what Dallas is right now.
And just a disclaimer for the ladies that, you know, our female audience, Ed doesn't have any clothes on from the waist down. Just saying. Right. Yeah. He's just a visor and that's it. A visor, a megaphone, and the rest is kosher. So tomorrow's Mother's Day. We want to give some shout outs to all you mothers out there, especially the mothers we know. Tom, you got some shout outs for the week that you'd like to mention?
Just want to wish a happy Mother's Day to my wife and Kelly and my mother-in-law and anyone else out there who's a mom.
Tom, we're going to go this week with your fantasy picks of the week. Do you have something that you go ahead?
Yeah, I got to say my pick last week was I was I did a pitcher and a batter each, and the batter I did really well. He was out of all the players in the for hitters in the league. I think he had the second most points. He had 24, and I believe it's Gleyber Torres had 25 points for the week. There's still a day left, so tomorrow. So Marcus Semien did well, but my pitcher of the week sucked. He was supposed to pitch twice. He got scratched because of a bad back, and he's actually supposed to pitch tonight. I don't know how he's doing, but this week my pitcher of the week is going to be from the Houston Astros, Framber Valdez. He's got 2 starts this week against two subpar teams. I believe it was Oakland, and I wrote it down. I can't see it, but he's got 57 Ks going into this week. He should get probably 18 to 20 strikeouts between the 2 games. And then my batter of the week, I'm going with the 2-headed monster of Trout and Shohei Ohtani. They both have 7 games this week. They play Baltimore and Minnesota. I think they're both going to just have big weeks, huge weeks. Baltimore's pitching is terrible, and Minnesota's is hit or miss, and I think they missed Minnesota's best pitcher. So that's who I got.
So I was at a deck hockey tournament with the kids this weekend, and a couple of people were talking about the podcast, and they were asking me different things about it. I just wanted to mention that there's a Facebook page. You can get us on Facebook weekly. We do this every week. It's mostly out by usually every Monday. You can leave comments. You can drop us an email. We try to read at least one. I get it, 4 to 5 a week. So, some I can't read on the air. They're too over the top. I keep it positive and funny and keep it moving. And that's where you can find us. And just subscribe. We're having a conversation about watched hours, and if you can get us to 4,000, we'll really appreciate it. And the subscriptions every week keep going up. So that's a positive. And the Facebook page has been hot this week. Try to post on there also different things that we're talking about. And Dylan, one last time, where can we find the podcast?
YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Underdog Sports Podcast.
Cool. Tom, we're gonna switch over to pick of the week for albums, CDs.
All right, my CD of the week is Soundgarden, Down from the Upside.
Nice.
Down on
Good
the
one.
Upside. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Awesome album, came out in 1996. Chris Cornell, unbelievable vocals. Some of my favorite songs, it's a 16 album track, and some of my favorite songs were Burning in My Hand, Blow Up the Outside World, Pretty Noose, and underrated song for me is Ty Cobb. And if you're lucky enough to ever find the Australian bonus tour, it's from their Australian tour, the bonus CD that comes with this, it has 6 extra songs, including Fell on Black Days.
Good one.
Just phenomenal. It was from their it's live. It's awesome.
Nice.
That album's pretty popular as far as their albums go. A lot of good songs on that. I mean, if you're not a Soundgarden fan, there's probably 3 that they play in heavy rotation on the radio. Chris Cornell, one of those gone too soon kind of deals. Great voice. That band is really good. Had a chance to see them more than once. Saw them when before they were popular, and then saw them when they kind of reunited, and really good both times. Very solid band, very tight. As far as Dylan, I want to ask you a little bit of wrestling talk. Did you end up watching any of the Backlash?
I caught a little bit of the street fight and then the main event.
Overall thoughts on the pay-per-view as a whole?
Not bad. Not Triple H's best, but nowhere close to where.
Yeah, a couple of surprises. A couple guys came back. Carlito came back. Savio Vega came back.
Pop.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Were you surprised with the Cody Rhodes Brock Lesnar outcome from that match?
I figured Cody would win. I just wasn't sure how it would happen. They set up a second match, so I guess they'll probably have another great match at, was it Night of Champions next?
Yeah, that's coming up soon, and AEW Double or Nothing's coming up real soon too. So I heard there might be some surprises for that, and they just signed a huge deal with Warner. I'm not sure if it's like $2 or $3 billion deal, something ridiculous like that. Possibly their own streaming network. Tom, did you happen to see the Carlito return or the Cody match?
Yeah, well, I didn't see it live, but I did see some video of it on Twitter. Yeah, Carlito, he got a huge pop, and what I liked was, I mean, I'm not a huge women wrestling fan, but Zelina Vega getting a huge pop at home. I mean, that was I like stories like that. I'm a sap.
Yeah, you don't get too many real good story moments in wrestling anymore, unless it's kind of off the cuff or it was unexpected. But the I guess the crowd there was pretty epic as far as turnout, because they've never really had anything, and they seem to kind of play into the whole atmosphere of being in Puerto Rico and who they had on the roster that kind of had roots there. And I heard a little bit of buzz this week that Sasha Banks, aka what's her name, Mercedes Monroe,
Monet.
she signed with AEW on the down low. Who knows? Is that one of the surprises for Double or Nothing? I don't know. I would rather see it happen and nobody know, but I don't know. Is that the person that they're waiting to beat Jade Cargill? What do you think, Dylan? Did you hear any buzz on the Sasha Banks signing or anything?
They've been saying that ever since she started at New Japan, since she came back, but I can see it happening because they usually have someone always saved up for a big pop pay-per-view.
Yeah, that seems to be their thing, and they make you wait till like 1 a.m. to see like 2 seconds at the end of somebody showing up. Ed, thoughts on the current wrestling landscape?
I got nothing. A big fat zero. So I'll kick it back to you there, AC.
Yeah, well, that went over well, Ed.
Thanks.
Good talk.
Thanks.
Just keep us
Best I
updated.
can do.
Just keep us updated on the score. Do something.
Sure. It's
It's the tag
42,
rope.
11:40 left in the game.
I went to the corner for the hot tag, and you weren't there.
I wasn't there.
You were
No.
you were on the floor selling.
Yeah, someone pulled his leg out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess we're gonna have to wrap this up for this week, and I just want to say thanks to the son of the Phantom trying to pull at the heartstrings this week to get the old man in here, but we couldn't. I guess we couldn't get enough money to the agent. He's I think maybe after July 1st when he becomes a total free agent, who knows? But Dylan, thanks.
Money.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's always about the money with that guy. And he's gonna come on with a mask on like Excalibur. We'll call him Sockface or whatever.
Seattle just went up 5-2.
Oh, there you go. See,
There you
Ed,
go,
you
see?
check back in right at the
There you
end.
go.
We're doing
There
the
you go,
sign
right? Yeah,
off.
when it's most important. There you go.
You just cut right in. Go ahead, Tom.
Dylan, do you want to plug your podcast one more time before we go?
Underdog Sports Podcast every Friday should be up
Okay.
on YouTube.
Now you owe us. You gotta plug our stuff so we can get some kind of audience here. Us older generation with the AARP cards, we can barely make it up the stairs to do any of this stuff. So,
Hey, speak for yourself.
well, you got no clothes on, so just sit there and tell me the score.
Hey,
So
hey, look, don't make me take that off and wiggle it for everybody, okay?
Everybody in the audience, with the exception of my old lady, is going to be running for the exits.
That's right.
So with that being
Nothing
said,
means nothing.
it's the fastest half hour that we do all week. So I just wanted to say thanks to Dylan for coming on, and we're just going to wish everybody a happy Mother's Day one last time, and we'll see you next week. Later, guys.
Happy Mother's Day.
Later, everyone. See ya.
Later.